This week, the New Age in the New Age magazine? We're going to take a look at one California Mason's opinion of the world, its problems, its defects, but also its beauties. Then, we'll dive into the idea of the secrets of music, and of course, how that relates to Freemasonry, the laws of vibration, resonance, rhythm, harmony, all this and more. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Whence Came You, a Masonic podcast featuring research papers and discussions related to Freemasonry. Here's your host, Brother Robert Johnson.
Welcome back to the show. This is episode number 680. I want to thank our contributors, fellows, producers, and legacy partners of the WCY podcast. Without you, we can't keep making this show the way we make it every single week. If you're curious on what you can do to help the WCY podcast, then head on over to our website, wcypodcast.com, click on support the show, and check out the various options there. We also have a shop and a bunch of things that we sell here and there, all handmade by yours truly, or authored by me and John Ruark. Anything that I sell on the website is going to go back into Masonic education, and that includes when I do tarot readings, if you schedule that, or if we do anything with Skull and Crown Limited, my leatherworking. All that goes right back into Masonic education. So thanks again for any of your considerations. I want to say thank you to everyone who came out to the San Antonio Esoteric Summit. Holy cow, was it an awesome event? Wow. Let's just say I got to learn a whole lot about a lot of things I had no idea about. The festive board was awesome. I made new friends, as we always do. And just an incredible time. And I'm really looking forward to the next one. I'll be sharing some of the images that I took over the weekend on our social media, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. So check it out. It was a great time. My thanks one more time goes out to Jason Reichenberg for putting this together, Brother Jeff Bennett for pulling all the talent together. Just an amazing event. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to everyone who came out. You guys made it awesome. I learned from audience members, presenters. It was just a great weekend. The first piece I have for you this week is called Night Thoughts by Ernest Crutcher, MD, 32nd degree, Los Angeles, California. Back behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow. Keep watch above his own. Nothing stands still. Unfoldment is the imperative urge. Change, diversify, grow complex and complicated, evolve or disappear. Not less than 500,000 kinds of insects have been classified. Above, on, or residing in each acre of average soil are probably 5 million types of animate life. Insects and other creatures, many possessing organs and limbs characteristic of humans, however tiny or large. Some live but a few hours, their mystery of existence being enacted in a brief while. Why did they come, and why do their progeny teem after them? Simple man comes, and imagines he is made in the image, likeness of the Creator. Is not every living thing possessed of some feature similar to some structure of this Lord of creation? Why is he here? What a nonsensical answer is given this question by some. How can the finite glorify the infinite? But what is the meaning of this countless horde of sentient beings with short careers and myriad successors, eating or being eaten by confreres? Man does not eat his fellow, so much as devising mechanics wherewith he may utterly kill his brother man. Why? And the Christian nations have the most wars. Our Earth is one of the tiniest globes that float through the ethers. Dark stars are believed to be more numerous than bright stars. Countless trillions of diverse colors and sizes, all majestically sweeping through the boundless firmament on recondite missions, endless in flight, and with rare collision. What is their purpose and mystery? Who, by searching, can find out? Change is written on all the universe, for it is not a multiverse, but a universe, as far as our intelligence comprehends. Chemical forces could dissolve, melt, freeze, solidify, vaporize, utterly destroy, but for supernal intelligence. Why is this gracious mind observant and directing particularly of living things, man no more cared for than any of the lower forms? Because of a mythical Apple episode in a mythical era, man was cursed and given the penalty of death. Why did death come to all things soever? Even the greatest sons die, like all creeping things. Is all the universe under that ridiculous curse? Or is death a gracious provision of advancement apportioned by boundless wisdom for the continuous unfoldment and good of all creation? Animate life cannot survive 2 miles below the surface of Earth because of the intense heat there, nor 6 miles above ground because of unimaginable cold. Earth sweeps majestically through frigidly cold space, yet its inhabitants suffer none from natural conditions. Some intelligence has foreseen and provided for mundane life. Only man is vile. Only man seeks to destroy. Life has existed here throughout ages uncountable, despite deadly states that, by slight change in temperature or unimpeded proximity to a blazing star whirling close to us, might burn all to vapor in a moment. Such peril has been possible for millions of years, and nothing happened. Why? Our Father never slumbers nor sleeps. He doth all things well. From the beginning of time, precise laws have operated. Intelligence has ruled. Why? O ye of little faith and huge conceit. Earth began its career much smaller than it is now. More than 1 million meteors fall on its surface annually. Yet, did you ever hear of anyone being hit or killed? Is it providence or mere accident? At times, the earth shudders in isolated places like a great animal awakening from sleep and yawning. Sometimes a community is wrecked or lives are destroyed, but the ruin is limited and the mass of the globe is unaware of any disruption. Earthquakes are limited in area and in taking of life. Is such escape unnoted by the overseer? Prior to early in the 16th century, most absurd ideas obtained about the heavenly bodies and their relation to Earth. Copernicus, a Catholic priest fearful of sacerdotal anger and interdict, wrote supposingly of the stars. His very bones were dug up by the church authority and burned with his supposing books. Galileo was obliged to kneel on the marketplace and vow what he knew to be a lie, lest he be burned as others less renowned had been. Newton later discovered laws of nature and met much scoffing. Darwin, with his gentle words and great wisdom, aroused violent denunciation. We find science now accepts the idea that proud and egotistic man is near relative to the ape. Have you not observed how ape-like are his acts and silliness? He is simian to the core, yet rails violently if told so, especially if he is orthodox. Evolution is acknowledged as true. Its law applies to everything having life, animal, plant, stars, fashions, habits. Mostly we are quite conceited. Despite our self-importance, we are but unfinished products. We have come very far from where we started, if we ever had a start. Since we always were betokens that we always will be. Our ability to think has been submerged by absurd theological devisements, taught to make us subservient to the hungry vanity of self-appointed leaders. Religion, falsely named by manipulators, has indeed been a narcotic to independent thought. The world has struggled hard for relief, and some bold thinkers have dared scorn, obloquy, derision, and vicious persecution. We usually think of Galileo and Copernicus, but many thousands have endured as much or more for science's sake. The right to think belongs to everyone despite the arrogance of clerical impudence. There is huge profit in individuality, and since individuality is evolutionary, what we gain is indestructible since our development unfoldment goes on through eternity. Fortunately, death has compensation. To abandon or be forced to leave the body in no wise ensures an end to the soul. It goes marching on. Death even has reward and spiritual riches of such nature that they cannot be portrayed or told to the unprepared mind. Death is never an end of life any more than turning out a lamp which causes darkness, but which can be immediately relighted. Suffering, alas, is most times a necessity for development, but for the spur of necessity few would excel. This spur often is based on vanity, a wish for appreciation, applause, honor, place, or power. In his Soul of the Universe, Dr. Stromberg declares there is a subconscious will as well as a subconscious thinking. Man often does things ordered, but often has not the slightest knowledge of why he does them. He asserts that this subconscious will is not subject to conscious reasoning. Surely then, what's done we partly may compute, but know not what's resisted. Every impulse should be meditated, every sudden tendency halted until analyzed. In great doubt, an appeal should be made to the unseen guardians. These foreknow and understand. They can divert or change. Again, this was called Night Thoughts by Brother Ernest Crutcher, MD, 32nd degree, out of Los Angeles, California. This was published in the October 1946 The New Age magazine, the official organ of the Supreme Council of the 33rd degree Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry in the Southern Jurisdiction, United States of America. I found the piece to be intriguing, a very New Age approach, perhaps even deist-ish. It surely does condemn an organized religious system. It points out some of the flaws in the organized religious system. However, of course, deism and other faiths also have flaws as well. But for this particular article, I rather enjoyed it. Every once in a while, you'll read an article from the New Age that sounds like it might just be part of the New Age, if you catch my drift. The next piece I have for you this week comes from, again, universalfreemasonry.org. This piece was published by Pamela McDowne, as it was published on July 10th, 2024, almost a year ago. Recently, we read a piece also from this magazine, I think it was by Brother Axel, who wrote about music in Freemasonry, and this one is also about music in Freemasonry, but it's called Freemasonry and the Secrets of Music. Let's check this one out. Again, by Pamela McDowne. Quote, "Music is as timeless as humanity itself, and its harmonies and melodies bring us from the unmanifested to the manifest, from the unreal to the real. What is the significance of music to the Freemason, and how can its immutable principles teach us about the reality of Masonic ritual? I know no better way to place a frame around the ideas I would like to express in this article than to begin with a beautiful statement often attributed to Johann Sebastian Bach. Quote, in the architecture of my music, I want to demonstrate to the world of the architecture of a new and beautiful social commonwealth. The secret of my harmony? I alone know it. Each instrument in counterpoint, and as many contrapuntal parts as there are instruments. It is the enlightened self-discipline of the various parts, each voluntarily imposing on itself the limits of its individual freedom for the well-being of the community. That is my message. Not the autocracy of a single stubborn melody on the one hand, nor the anarchy of unchecked noise on the other. No, a delicate balance between the two, an enlightened freedom. The science of my art, the art of my science, the harmony of the stars in the heavens, the yearning for brotherhood in the heart of man. This is the secret of my music." End quote. What follows will be an exploration of the notions of brotherhood and enlightened freedom. My aim will be to demonstrate that the architecture of music is an apt metaphor for the Masonic Lodge work. What exactly are the secrets of music, and how do these secrets relate to the craft? What Freemasonry is not. Freemasonry is not the autocracy of a single stubborn melody. The above phrase highlights the dangers of dominance and lack of diversity. In music, it represents a scenario where one melody overpowers and dictates the entire composition, stifling the richness and complexity that multiple harmonizing parts can bring. Similarly, in Freemasonry, this phrase warns against the concentration of power and the suppression of individual voices within the fraternity. Just as a symphony achieves its beauty through the harmonious interplay of various instruments, a Masonic Lodge flourishes when it fosters an inclusive environment and a cooperative ritual, allowing for the collective wisdom and efforts of all its members to create a unified and dynamic community. Freemasonry is not the quote-unquote anarchy of unchecked noise. In both music and Freemasonry, chaos and disorder arise when there is a lack of structure, discipline, and harmony. In music, this phrase conveys the importance of balanced composition, where each instrument contributes purposefully to the overall symphony. avoiding discordant and aimless sounds. Similarly, in Freemasonry, this concept underscores the necessity of adhering to Masonic principles and rituals to maintain order and unity within the fraternity. Both in music and Freemasonry, the anarchy of unchecked noise serves as a metaphor for the breakdown of coherence and the loss of a shared purpose. What Freemasonry is. Freemasonry is an enlightened freedom. In the realm of music, this concept embodies the idea that each instrument, while capable of interdependent expression, chooses to harmonize and balance its contribution for the collective beauty of the composition. This voluntary discipline ensures that no single part overwhelms the others, creating a cohesive and pleasing musical experience. Similarly, in Freemasonry, this principle reflects the fraternity's ethos, where individual members exercise self-restraint and align their actions with the broader goals of the lodge. By doing so, they foster a harmonious and cooperative environment. This enlightened approach highlights the value of balancing personal freedom with collective responsibility, whether in the intricate interplay of a musical ensemble or the collaborative spirit of a Masonic lodge. Freemasonry is the harmony of the stars and the heavens, the yearning for brotherhood in the heart of man. In music, this harmony represents the perfect alignment and interplay of diverse elements, creating a celestial symphony that transcends individual contributions. Each note and instrument, though distinct, comes together to form a unified harmonious whole, much like the stars forming constellations in the night sky. In Freemasonry, this concept reflects the fraternity's core mission of fostering brotherhood and unity among its members. The yearning for brotherhood speaks to a deep intrinsic human desire for connection, solidarity, and mutual support. Just as the stars are bound by the laws of the cosmos, Freemasons are guided by universal principles that promote peace, understanding, and a shared sense of purpose. The secret laws of music. As we have seen, mastering the power of sound can be one of the most potent working tools at the hands of the Freemason to bring about transformation during ritual. Here are 4 laws that deserve contemplation for the serious brother and student of the mysteries. Law of vibration. The law of vibration embodies the truth that everything in the universe moves and vibrates at one frequency or another, a fact which modern science endorses. Behind the magical work for the ritual lies the mystery of vibration. The Freemason uses this law to govern uniformity in work, to dispel disorder, and to produce heightened awareness. Law of resonance. Physics explains how sound affects matter in detail. We know that everything has a resonant frequency at which it most naturally resonates. When we find that resonant frequency and play a sound that matches it, it actually feeds energy into the object. A stronger vibration causes a weaker vibration to vibrate at the same frequency as the stronger vibration. The proper use of this musical resonance by the Freemason produces a powerful group vibration that attunes the brethren physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. Law of rhythm. Music rises in crescendo. It fades. It moves quickly, then slows. It fades into decrescendo. Behind all of this is a steady and constant rhythm. Everything in the universe vibrates and moves to certain rhythms like a heartbeat. These rhythms establish seasons, cycles, stages of development, and patterns. The Freemason uses this law to produce effective ritual work. As the nature of the rhythm is established through ritual music, the brethren train themselves to work together with united thought, united action, and united ideals and objectives. Law of harmony. The law of harmony and harmonic relationships is not an arbitrary creation. It is a fundamental attribute of music based on certain proportional relationships among musical tones that the human ear accepts. Consonant music, pleasant and agreeable, in contrast to dissonant music, which causes tension, influences the emotion expression. Thus, the conscious choice of music in alignment with universal law can intentionally evoke the full range of human emotion, from relaxed, calm, happy, and joyous, to tense, sad, or agitated. In closing, we can gain further inspiration from the wisdom of the past. In ancient times, music was the testimony of the human soul. It was an integral part of the life of the community. Laws of harmony were followed, and only music, not noise, was allowed into society. As each person added his stone to the building of a great cathedral, everyone's tone contributed to the evolving melody of the human world. But with this rise of individualism, many people began living for themselves alone, thus producing chaos in the world. It is a Mason's duty to bring order out of chaos. Ordo ab chaos. The laws we have been discussing help us move forward into the light of greater truth, that our labors thus begun in order may be conducted in harmony and closed in peace. May we ever avoid the autocracy of a stubborn melody and the anarchy of unchecked noise. Well, how apropos was that today? Well, I think it was very appropriate for today, in particular with the things that are going on all around the world, maybe particularly here in these United States. In any case, I rather enjoyed this piece. I liked the comparisons. I think Pamela McDowne has once more written a wonderful piece. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. That's it for this week. I want to thank one more time our producers, fellows, contributors, and legacy partners of the WCY podcast. If you're out there thinking you'd love to support this show, head on over to the website, check it out, see how you can help by clicking on Support the Show. I've also launched another little fundraiser for the show called the Matchbox Lodge. That's right, you may have seen it on TikTok or on our Facebook, or maybe your friend showed you one because they bought one. They are little matchbox lodges, and you can get them on my website, skullandcrownltd.com. That's where I do all my leather work. You can pick up those there. And again, all money from the sales, not just proceeds. All money goes right back into the podcast. So one more time, I want to say thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll talk to you all next week. So until then, stay on the level. For Whence Came You, I'm Robert Johnson. Take care.
You've been listening to Whence Came You, a Masonic podcast featuring research papers and discussions related to Freemasonry with your host, Brother Robert Johnson. Be sure to join us for our next edition.
CY Media.
Why, that's me, man.